Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel or my podcast, depending where you're watching this on. First off, before we get into absolutely anything, if you hear purring, I have the sweetest little baby girl down here helping me out today. And she is just quite literally a motor just for laying beside me. Today we are going to be doing my second episode of my CRP Digital Diary, and this is just a series that I've already done one episode on, obviously, so if you haven't checked that out already, I highly recommend doing it. In that episode, I talked just freely about my application process, getting accepted, all the steps that I had done, getting my visa in the mail, all that kind of stuff, and this here is episode 2. So as I'm sitting here right now, this is gonna be my 2-week out episode update. So literally there are 16 days. So 2 weeks and 2 days until I move down to Florida, which is insane. So much has changed. The last episode I filmed back in April, and it is currently, I filmed that like mid-April. It's currently June 19th when I'm sitting here today. So a lot of time has passed and a lot of different things have happened in my personal life and also just in like Disney stuff going on, updates on the program, all that kind of stuff. Like, so much has happened, and I want to update you on all of it. So of course I have definitely been making a list on my phone of all the different things I did and the dates that all that happened so that I would not forget to tell you. I did get a new phone, which you can see here. I did that because I had an iPhone 12 and the battery was not doing me well. My AppleCare, I'd had it for 2 years, so my AppleCare was no longer, and I knew that I wanted to get a new phone probably within the next year, but I didn't want to have to get a new phone when I was on the program, just because, I mean, it's just easier to get it while I'm still in Canada. I don't have to I don't have to find my way to an Apple store because I'm not bringing a car in the US, and I don't have to worry about like transferring and all that stuff. So I was like, let me just get a new phone now before I leave. So I ended up getting the iPhone 14 Pro, which I absolutely adore. I got the Pro actually specifically because the camera quality is that much better than just the regular 14, and let me tell you, it is stunning. If you haven't watched my Taylor Swift Eras Tour vlog, which by the way, last weekend on June 10th, I went to the Eras Tour and it was amazing. You can really see the zoom in there of how well my phone actually is able to zoom in, and the quality of the photos that I got that day was just absolutely amazing. So let's start talking about some Disney stuff. Last we talked, I believe I should have watched the previous video before I did this so I'm not repeating myself, but I'm gonna talk and hopefully I'm just not repeating myself. But last we talked, we had already talked about the fact that I got my I-797, which is my visa document that I have to take with me to the airport. I got that in my email, and I got that on April 11th. And so I have to print that out and bring that with me to the airport, and that is how I get across the border. I also got my immigration compliance video, which is just a video you have to watch before you leave, on April 10th, 2023, and I believe we talked about all of that. I then purchased my health insurance, and I did end up purchasing the one that Yummy Jobs recommended to me. So, fun fact actually, I was getting emails about the cultural representative program, the academic exchange program, and the cultural exchange program from Yummy Jobs, and they kept emailing me being like, we don't have your police report, we don't have your fees, we don't have this, we don't have that. And I'm like, I'm doing the cultural representative program. I don't know how I got on the email list for all of these programs, but finally I got myself taken off of that, so everything is good to go. But I did get my health insurance for the cultural representative program. I ended up going with the one through Yummy Jobs that Yummy Jobs recommends. But I did change it around a little bit, so I went with a higher amount that it covers and a higher deductible, because realistically when I was looking at it, it doesn't really cover anything unless you're in like a dire emergency anyway. And then I purchased that health insurance, so I get benefits when I'm working for Disney this time, which is beautiful, but they start after the 3-month probationary period. So mine is going to be on October 10th, I think I figured it out for, but I put my health insurance right up to November 1st. That way, I've heard some people say it takes like a couple weeks to actually kick in after that probationary period. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, but I just wanted to make sure I am fully covered at all times, and then I'll be opting into the Disney benefits one, obviously, once I'm given that option. Yeah, so that ended up costing me, let me actually look, because it was not as much as I originally thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like crazy expensive, but if you think about it, it's about the same amount of time as the cultural exchange program. So it's really not that much more per se, because if you're only getting it for 3 months, I mean, that's the same length as the cultural exchange program, so it wasn't too terrible. Let's see. So I ended up purchasing that on May 18th is when I purchased it, and it came out to $157.08 US dollars, which translated to 217.98 Canadian dollars. Which, I mean, that's expensive, especially if I'm not going to use it. It's basically throwing away $200, but I need health insurance, and obviously if something does happen, that is going to be a good investment. What else did we get figured out? I have a bunch of things. I'm just trying to go in order specifically because I could be all over the place with this. On June 2nd, I got my Workday email, and this was really strange because it came to, I have like 2 email addresses that I use. The one I always use with like work stuff, it's like my LinkedIn email, it's my business email that I use for YouTube, all that stuff. So I have my Disney stuff linked to that email, but the Workday email came to my other email address, which I thought was kind of weird, and it went to my spam, and I thought it was spam, and it said just like, log in and review your documents, and I was like, it's gotta be spam. So I ignored it for a couple days. Then I was like, you know what, let me just log into my Workday and make sure that nothing has gone astray here. So I logged into Workday, not following the links in that email. I just logged in, and it was like, you have a bunch of tasks to complete. And I was like, oh, okay, this is legit. So once again, I got that email on June 2nd, so about a month beforehand. And on Workday, if you are doing the Disney College program, Workday is actually when you're gonna find out your role and potential location. But I already knew all of that, so that wasn't really a surprise to me. But Workday is basically you're filling out a ton of different forms, like endless amounts of forms. I don't even think I wrote any of them down here just because there were so many. Filling out the forms you need to be able to do the program. You're entering in like ID information, you're doing a costuming agreement, you're doing like a payroll thing, like just basic paperwork forms. It took me in total about, honestly, only about 20 minutes to complete, but I remember back in 2018 when I did it, it took me like an hour, and that's just because everything was like pre-filled in, which I really liked because I had worked for the company before. My information was just saved, like emergency contact information is all the same, my home address here is still the same, so I just had to like hit submit on those forms because it was all already filled out, which was really nice and convenient. Of course, we had to pause quickly because why would I charge my camera battery before we film? But we're back now. And I believe we left off talking about my medical insurance that I purchased, and then Workday. And after Workday was done, I just got an email saying you've completed it, send all the forms that I completed, so if I need to review them again, that kind of stuff. I then got my dorms email on June 9th. Now, I feel like my dorms email came a little late this year. So dorms is where you sign up for housing essentially, and I do have an entire video of the process of me signing up for housing. Like I recorded a screen recording and my voice recording of me actually doing it, so if you want to check out what that is. But essentially dorms, I just like quite literally ranked my housing options, put in my information, and asked for Flamingo what I wanted. I said I had accommodations, like I told you guys in the last video. I did apply for housing accommodations because of my own medical reasons, and I'm very thankful to say those have been approved. And however, I didn't get that approval email until after I received my lease. So I got my lease before I got the approval email, but my lease did include the accommodations that I needed. So I'm not really sure which order Flamingo does things, but it all worked out and my accommodations that I needed were approved, which I am so thankful for. And then I got my lease on June 13th. So dorms June 9th, lease June 13th. And I signed it right away, so your lease comes to your email and it's an electronic signature, and your lease basically just states your room type. And then about 24 hours after that, I was able to do the parcel pending hack, which if you don't know what this is, I actually explained this in my 2 most recent videos that you're gonna see. So my video about flamingo crossings as the complex, and then also my apps that you need from the DCP. I explained it in both those videos, but essentially I figured out what my tentative room number is gonna be. There's no guarantee for it, but I know which building I'm in, which complex I'm in, and which room I'm in. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy with how that turned out. There's one thing about it's making me a little nervous, but we'll get into that once I actually announce what that is, and it's probably something I'm just overreacting about anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but my accommodations were approved, and that is all I care about in the end. That is like the most important thing, and I got the complex that I was hoping for, so east and west. I got the one that I wanted the most, which I'm really also excited for. Also on June 9th, so the same day I did my dorms, I got my phone plan. So I'm going through Mint Mobile again, and I went with Mint and I purchased it then because you can purchase Mint and then not activate it for 45 days. So I'm gonna activate it on July 5th. I went with the eSIM option again, and so okay. So here's what I'm doing. Mint Mobile had a promotion on for all of their 3-month-long plans. So I purchased a 3-month-long plan. All of them were $15, every single one. So I purchased it for $15 for 3 months. After that 3 months is up, I then have the option to purchase whichever one I want after that to continue doing it, but to be able to get that 3-month deal. So basically, I believe I ended up going with the plan that's regularly $20. I really don't need that much data. I think it was like 15 or 20 gigs is the plan I went with, unlimited calling and unlimited texting, and for all of that I paid $45 US for the 3 months. I'm kind of happy it turned out that way, just because I only have to pay the 3 months now versus paying the 12 months right up front. So I'm not sure if next I'm either gonna continue that plan, I'm gonna keep that number, and then continue that plan with the 6-month one, or just go straight for the 12-month one. I'm not really sure yet, but essentially you cannot transfer a Canadian phone number to a US phone provider. So essentially I'm gonna be just getting a temporary new phone number with my plan in Canada. I'm currently paying a lot of money. I think it's like $45 or $50 a month is what I'm currently paying, and I get like 3 gigs and then so many minutes and unlimited texting. So my options are, I'm currently with Koodo, $14 a month for no plan, and for them to just hold my number so I can go back to it once I come back to Canada. That's $14. $15 a month is the absolute dirt cheap lowest plan you can get from Koodo. It is a prepaid plan, pay as you go kind of thing, and it includes like 250 gigs of data, or like megabytes of data, like tiny like crumbs essentially, 100 minutes and so many texts or something like that. Like, it is the basics bare minimum plan, and I think I'm gonna do that because I've had my Canadian number 10 years now plus, and people know to call me on that number. So if someone doesn't know I've changed my number, or doesn't have my new number, or sends me a text or something on my Canadian number, or all my 2-factor authentications are set up to go through my Canadian number, I have that ability. So essentially I'll have both SIMs working on my phone at the same time. I'll be using the Mint one, but if someone calls me and leaves a message on my Canadian one, I can call them back on my American one. So it just works out better that way, and for only $1 more a month, I figured it's better. Also, because I do get vacation days, I would love to come back to Canada for a couple days in January or February as like a vacation to visit my family and visit the pets and everything else. So having a phone plan, you know, texting my mom, I'm at the airport, please come pick me up kind of thing, is gonna be really beneficial, I think, versus just like not having anything. So for that extra $1 a month, like realistically $12 for the year, I'm able to have that and not just like have them hold my number, is gonna be really, really nice, because otherwise, yeah, I just, like, it's $14 is a lot of money just for them to hold my phone number. So that's what I'm gonna be doing with that. I purchased that already, like I said, on that sale. So in 3 months, I'm just gonna have to renew it for whatever plan I choose at that point. So then I still do have to go to the actual Koodo kiosk and I believe I have to purchase a new SIM because right now I'm on like a monthly plan and I have to change it to a pay-as-you-go, but it would be the same number because they'll just transfer the numbers. I have to set that up. So my current phone plan renews on the 14th of every month. So as long as I go before I leave, they'll be able to set that up fine. I got my prescriptions renewed, so my doctor was able to give me a 6-month supply of all the medications I take for my anxiety and everything that I take in that realm. My doctor was able to give me a 6-month prescription and also give me a renewal for a 6-month prescription for that. So none of my health insurance that I'm currently on is going to cover that because they don't cover vacation supplies, is what it's called. They don't cover that. They won't cover more than like the 3-month supply that you normally get. So that is coming out of pocket, but I believe it's still going to be cheaper than what it would be if I had those prescriptions transferred to the US. Also, I don't 100% know how to get those prescriptions transferred to the US, so it's still going to cost me a lot of money. I figured out it's going to be around $600 for all of my prescriptions to pay out of my own pocket, 600 Canadian dollars, but I wasn't sure what there's really no other option essentially, so that's what I was gonna do. And then on top of that, there are some things that I have to buy in Canada still that I haven't purchased yet, such as other medications like cold and flu meds. The ones in Canada are stronger and that's what my body's used to, so the ones in the US don't work as well. My toothpaste, I have to use a high fluoride toothpaste and I've been using it for years now. In Canada you just get that off the shelf, but in the US I guess you need a prescription for it, or they won't give it to you unless you have like a doctor's prescription for the toothpaste. So I have to buy that while I'm in Canada still and make sure I have enough for at least like 6 months until like November when one of my parents comes down to visit me. So I just have to make sure I have all my bases covered for that, essentially. I should only need 1 tube for like 6 months, but I might bring a second one just in case. I also received all the items for the huge sponsorship that I got for my packing vlog that you will see. So a company was kind enough to send me four suitcases for my packing video. So I'm gonna integrate that in my packing video. You'll see it a bunch. You'll know what company it is soon enough, but they sent me 4 suitcases. They're the best things ever. My friend Tia, they only ship to the US, so my friend Tia in Buffalo was nice enough to let me use her address, and then I went to her house and picked them up. So I'm so happy. I have those in my possession now, and with that I started packing and I did not realize how many clothes I have. It's actually kind of ridiculous, so I've already had to narrow it down a ton. I think I'm down to like 15 t-shirts, I think, and I think I'm bringing 15 tank tops, a couple dresses, 2 pairs of jeans, and then some like sweaters and cardigans and stuff, and leggings of course. And then I think I'm leaving like a maybe pile that if it fits I'm gonna bring it, or if it's like November and I'm like, it's getting chilly, I need another pair of jeans or something, because I mainly wear leggings, but I don't know about in the theme parks. I might want more jeans, then I'll ask my parents to bring me one of those pairs when they come and visit me, and hopefully that works out. Yeah, it's just packing little things. We got the hotel booked, which I think I talked about last time, for me and my dad's stay beforehand. My sister's down there right now, so she was able to get us the cast member discount on that hotel, so we are staying at a moderate resort for that. Yeah, so we're headed down on July 5th, and then my program starts July 10th, so we're doing a mini vacation. I will not be in the parks at all, to my knowledge. My dad's probably gonna go to the parks with my sister, almost 100% guaranteed, but I don't know if there's gonna be enough comp tickets for me, so that's how that's gonna work. I don't really have $100 a day to spend right now on those park tickets for just 5 days, when I'm more than happy to just relax around the pool and read my book for a while during that. I will say, life updates, I also graduated college, so I did that. June 7th was my graduation day from college. I got the Faculty Academic Award, I got my 4.0 Distinction Award, and yeah, I have my diploma now, so we're officially done with the college life. And then that Saturdays when I went to Eras tour, which was amazing. And I also sent back, so Ariane came to the Eras tour, Ariane and Katie came, and then I sent my Keurig and these like storage cubes I had back with Ariane because she's bringing her car down from Montreal when she does the program, and she starts a week after I do. And she was nice enough to let me put some of my stuff in her car that she's gonna take with her, because having a Keurig, I was gonna bring a Keurig on the plane. I'm not gonna lie to you. I dead set was gonna bring a Keurig on the plane, but if Ariane's able to bring it for me, that makes my life a lot easier because it's very heavy and awkward and large, and I didn't want it to get broken. Another thing I still have to do is go apply for continuous OHIP coverage. So I have to get a copy of my acceptance letter and go bring that to Service Ontario and tell them that I'm gonna be out of the country for a year because I'm working, so that way they don't cancel my OHIP coverage, which is just like provincial healthcare essentially, because that would be very, very, very bad. And then as far as I know, I'm just waiting for my itinerary after that, and that is essentially, I mean, it. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's gonna be a lot going on over the next 2 weeks between going to get stuff ready and packing and everything, and I'm gonna be vlogging it all, which is really exciting. But at this point, those are the things that have happened, and it seems small, but it is a lot. Let me tell you, I feel very overwhelmed right now, to be honest. Like, I am fairly stressed about it all. I'm kind of taking that stress and implementing it into creating videos for you guys, which is why there have been so many videos and everything over the last few weeks after it seems I just like dropped off for a while. And that's just because I mean, obviously I love creating, so I'm taking all the stress and just channeling it into creating, which is, it's been fun, honestly. Like, I have really been enjoying it, and I've become really optimistic again about creating content, and I feel like I was in a rut for the last like year or so. It was really, really difficult for me to get back into the swing of things with creating content and such, since about midway through my CP last summer. But I think I finally kind of got in the rhythm and flow of everything again, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I actually find myself wanting to edit. I find myself waking up in the morning being like, okay, like, what we gonna film today, what we're gonna do. I'm really excited, which is something I haven't felt in a very long time. So it's making me really, really excited for this program and everything to do with that. So I think that is going to be all for this update video on my CRP diary. I hope you enjoyed listening or watching, and check out that first one. I think the third one might be after I'm already in Florida. I might film it when we are at the hotel before I actually check in, but after I get over the border and that, so we know everything that's happened and I can tell you all about that process and everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a magical rest of your day.